real pleasure for me to introduce this third day of the meeting, because today we have something very, very, very special. Aujourd'hui, on a quelque chose de très, très, très important, très fantastique. Today we're going to have an homage on the discovery of Bacteriocin by a Belgian scientist, André Gratia. And before starting the day devoted to Bacteriocins, we have the pleasure and the honor of having the family of André here in the front row. So thank you all of you to come here, to be here. Merci à vous autres d'être ici. And I'm going to give the floor to the chairman of this session. Je vais donner la parole immédiatement au professeur Etienne Thiry, qui va gérer cette introduction à cet anniversaire. Again, thank you so much to you. Merci beaucoup pour votre temps.
In 1925, that he reported for the first time the identification of colicin, the so-called first Bacteriocin. And as we are now starting the second day of the Bacteriocin International Conference, it is the exact, the precise day, 2025, to celebrate the century birthday scientific work that has been made by André Gratia during his life, which was a little bit too short for us, I can say, of the scientific career of our scientist André Gratia today. So then we move on to the University of Liège, and the homage that is given now to André Gratia by the University of Liège is made by my colleague Vincent Guénen. Unfortunately, he's not able to be here with us today, and myself, as you can see here. In fact, I would like to start this evocation of André Gratia in Liège by going back even before his birth. In fact, I would say that the connection of André Gratia with my university goes back even before his birth, as I said, and I will begin with a brief overview of his ancestry. You can notice that I am a veterinarian, and I have been graduated at the School of Veterinary Medicine in Tuberculosis than it was in Brussels at that time. So you can see here two portraits, the portraits of André Gratia on the right, but also the portrait of Gustave Gratia, the father of André Gratia. He was a medical doctor and a veterinarian, and was son and brother of veterinarian. He studied in Brussels and practiced medicine. He was elected as member of the Royal Academy of Medicine, like his son several years later, and became even president of this academy in 1920. These facts and others, summarized in the next slides, show how André Gratia was predestined to become an eminent scientist. They also established very early links with the University of Liège, where veterinary medicine became a faculty in 1969. You can see here a photograph of the School of Veterinary Medicine in 1910, the time where Gustave Gratia was professor at that School of Veterinary Medicine. There, Gustave was professor of pathological anatomy and general pathology, and he headed the establishment as director from 1919 to 1925, and he was the first rector of this School of Veterinary Medicine, named their faculty in 1925. You can see here something that is also an evocation of what I experienced in my laboratory when during summer holidays my children came also to the laboratory, not only for working freely but for gaining some student money during vacation. And you can see here André on the left and Gustave on the right. Then, this is a report of the bulletin de l'Académie vétérinaire de France regarding the celebration of Gustave Gratia. It is important to note that already Gustave Gratia himself was able to be a scientific opponent of Robert Koch. You can imagine that. He was able to demonstrate that, contrary to Robert Koch, the bovine form of the tuberculosis microbe was transmissible to humans and was mainly responsible for bovine tuberculosis. So then, for Belgium and also the veterinarians, this time was a difficult time. We are now in 1920. You know that at that time Gust Belgium and was successfully eradicated thanks to the efficacy of the National Veterinary Services. It's worth mentioning that to thank the veterinary profession for defeating river pest, a law was enacted on the 23rd of May 1924 under the direction of Gustave Gratia, authorizing the examination board of the veterinary graduated from the University of Liège. So we are in 1920. At that time, André Gratia was already a 30 years old prolific scientist and was close to the discovery of cholecystine, where the foundation of his remarkable scientific discoveries were laid. In 1932, this famous scholar of my university was appointed professor of bacteriology, parasitology, and immunology at the University of Liège, where he taught, and also he headed the Malraux Fund for Biological Analysis for the province of Liège. There, he developed also new techniques in virology, including ultracentrifugation. He also invented fractional centrifugation and introduced its first electron microscope to the University of Liège. Those who knew him both in Belgium and abroad agreed in hailing him as a true pioneer, gifted with admirable intuition. In the words of Maurice Welch, assistant of André Gratia, and after professor and even rector of the University of Liège, Maurice Welch said, and I will say verbatim in French, éloquent et enthousiaste, André Gratia faisait un cours que l'on suivait avec un intérêt croissant. Ses exposés brillants, dont la profondeur était tempérée d'une pointe d'humour, retenaient sans difficulté l'attention de son auditoire. Il se préoccupait beaucoup du sort des étudiants et s'efforçait, dans la mesure du possible, d'alléger leur fardeau. Dans le cercle plus intime des travailleurs de son laboratoire, il était le patron idéal. Il possédait en effet toutes les qualités, adresse manuelle, ingéniosité technique, rigueur scientifique, imagination constructive. Il possédait aussi les qualités nécessaires pour les retenir autour de lui. Bienveillance et intérêt agissant pour les progrès de leur recherche et de leur bien-être matériel. Enfin, il savait publiquement reconnaître les mérites particuliers de ses anciens disciples. Then, I am going now to give the floor to our next speaker. As I say with you, we have the privilege to have with us the son of André Gratia, Jean-Pierre Gratia. Jean-Pierre, if you come. Come on, try this. I am going to give a short introduction about your career first. So, Jean-Pierre Gratia is a biologist. You got a PhD and also what is called l'agrégation de l'enseignement supérieur. That is a second doctorate. I did not have this tedious work to write a second thesis, you know. One was enough for me.